You know, I think that this group, as well as many other people in the community, truly let me know what your feelings were. And, you know, I know Pete's in here and Lino. I can tell you that the council was deeply concerned about this also, and things that they heard from, you know, constituents in their districts. And so I think working as a team, I think that this is where we're at right now, and I'm not going to sit up here and talk negatively about GEO. I think we just sent a message to them that they need to look elsewhere if they want to build a center.
No way.
Yeah, right.
Jesus, Tom.
I'm sorry, I can't stay too long. I've got a service over at Brentwood I'm supposed to be at right now at 3 o'clock. But is there any questions that you have of me before?
Will you come back to the next meeting, Mayor Murphy?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to say thank you. There's a lot of people, I look around this room, there's a lot of people I talk to about this. I know Brian, we spent a lot of time talking about his concerns. Linda, the other day, her and I spent some time just talking. And I know there's a lot of people looking out in the room. They personally reached out to me and said, you know, Mayor, this is just not what I want in my community. And again, you know, we said before, really elected officials should represent the heartbeat of their community. That's right. And so, yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I want to applaud you on your resolute decision to do what needed to be done. I live in the city of Gary, and I understand that there may be a move to try to force this onto our people in the city of Gary. What would be your response to that?
Well, I think it should be within the community. It should be up to the community on whether they want something like this within their boundaries. So I think that is something, if they look in other communities in Northwest Indiana, I think it needs to be left up to the people of that community and the officials that represent them. So, yes, Linda.
Would you just make an explanation shortly as far as what would be the next for that group to do as far as coming forward for it? I understand they wanted to do a PUD.
Yes.
So what's the next step? I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah.
What's the next step for us to watch for so that, you know, we just don't go, we're
Yes.
not going to go away?
No, I think that's a good point. And I think, you know, certainly as to, you know, meetings going forward and so forth, I don't know how that's going to happen or anything, but we do have to still keep in mind, and you know, when I came to you before and I explained to you how elected officials have to be very careful in what they say. Pete and Lino, a lot of us talked about this. You have to be careful because you do not want to open the city up to litigation. And so before this letter went out to GEO, I made sure that the legal department had reviewed it and made sure that there was nothing being said in that letter that could hold the city in any type of potential litigation. But again, I think it's important, like Linda said, this fight is not necessarily over as far as the concerns of the community. They still could go forward, and where that would be the step that we need to keep an eye on would be the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission, it would have to be advertised, there would be a public hearing, and then after the Planning Commission, then ultimately it would go to the City Council. But the first step would be to keep in mind that there would be an advertised meeting with the Planning Commission. And then the Planning Commission, if they went for a PUD, which logically that would be the step that they would pursue, that's where you would be alerted that there would be any kind of action moving forward. Yes, ma'am.
Have they already bought the property from them?
Yes, they have purchased the property. They are the owners of it. Yes. Yes, Jim.
The PUD covers about 132, 133 different uses. Prisons and jails isn't one of them, although it is covered under parking ordinances, but I think that had to do with when we had the jail downtown.
Okay.
Wouldn't they have to amend that PUD to make that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. Understanding that a PUD can be crafted where it can be actually more restrictive than other PUDs. So it's all up to the Plan Commission and what kind of language they want to insert that makes a PUD restrictive. Now, with that said, the Plan Commission could look at a PUD, and a PUD can be amended later on. Now, they still have to go back through a process, and they have what they call a major change or a minor change. A major change requires a whole new public hearing. So there are steps that have to be followed on any PUD consideration to the Plan Commission. And I want to say, I see Mr. Jackson here. Mr. Jackson sits on our BZA, so thank you for your interest in being here also. You know, I think everybody in the city has been, you know, concerned about where this is going, what's being said on the street. And I think everybody, there's been a true concern about this development. And the fact that, and have I been approached by people saying, Mayor, this is something good for the city, it's jobs, it's tax base, and we need this? I can't, I'm going to tell you, there's people out there that supports this thing. And there's a lot of people that support it. Or at least, I shouldn't say support it, but feels like it should be vetted through a process, through the different bodies. And, you know, everybody has a right to their opinion. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, Mayor, quick question. Did GEO give any indication of what they're going to do with the property if they're denied their request to build a facility?
Have not. I have not spoke to GEO since I sent the letter. The only one I spoke to that's connected to GEO was John Buscemi. Gave me a call, acknowledged that he had received the letter, certainly understood my position, had hoped that I would hold off on that position, and I told him no, that letter was sent out, and that's where we stand. So.
Good for you, Mayor.
Would you want to say a quick word about the planning process now? Like I understand the 10-year plan is up for review.
Yes.
I think there's been a lot of civic interest now. Maybe a lot of that energy can go into.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think, and I was telling Tom the other day, sometimes situations like this tends to bring people together, and they start thinking about, you know, I need to take a more vested interest in the community. I need to be more active. And I think sometimes things like this does bring people together. And, you know, we're starting this comprehensive plan with the 10-year comprehensive plan. I really would ask that with some of your energies, that you participate in that. It is very important that you, the community, direct that process. As the city, this is supposed to be a team effort. It's supposed to be the people telling city leadership what they want to see in moving forward with their community in the next 10 years. So I would ask that you use some of the energies that I think this group has put together and utilize it. I know Sandy will probably be very engaged in the comprehensive plan. As you know, Sandy's very, she's very concerned about environmental aspects of the community. So, with that, Sergio, our city planner, is going to be putting out information about public meetings. There will be announcements of public hearings going on. So please take the time to come out and be involved in that. I think it would be well worth the time and effort that you put in. Yes. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm Bob Krebbs. I live on Northwest Park Avenue. In my discussion, everybody I try to meet, one of my favorite places is the doctor's office, where there are a lot of people. And I ask the people's opinion. And I can't tell you how proud I am to be a member of Colbert. Because it didn't, there were some divisive issues that came up, whether it was Republican or Democrat or Catholic, Protestant, any kind of issue. And it wasn't that, it was the whole community, no matter what their other beliefs were, they believed this was not the image that Hobart has been trying to establish, that we're the friendly city. And this is, I'm so proud to be a member and a citizen of Hobart, and thank you all.